guys, it's Yvette, and I am ready to start the Fort Worth Fabric Studios A Day in May Mystery Quilt for week 3. So for this week, we are making on-point blocks, and we are going to end up with 8 on-point blocks. So the first thing is we gather all of the pieces that we needed for this week, which is PHD, PHD, AEC. Okay, and I've just put them all in the same order that they had them. And the first thing that we are told is that we are going to put all of these squares and we're going to pair them together, right sides together, as such. Okay, so since we're doing P and H, I think H will probably be, we'll probably have the least amount. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I'll take the P and I'm going to put 1 on top of each, right sides together. So this will go face down. Okay, and then I will just put these in little stacks so I have them all together. And I can scooch them up a little bit. And then we have P and D, so I will take my D squares. And there are 4 of those. I've only got 2 of these. Hold up. Set aside 2 H squares. All right, well that explains why. Okay, so I obviously missed that part. All right, so 2 H squares, which are these. I'm gonna set them aside. So then I can put these all together. Okay, and then we're going to do A and E. And E is the smaller stack, so I'm going to move those over. And I'm going to take A. I love these colors. Oh, they're so happy. And you know, it's interesting because it's like, it's been raining for a couple of days here. And it's supposed to keep raining until like Tuesday or something. But I don't know. I mean, I think we kind of need it. I do know that we kind of getting a lot of it all at once, but I guess that's just how we have to take it. Okay, so I'm going to scooch these together, put them aside, and then A and C. I love these little butterflies. Okay, and then the rest of the A's, we're just going to flip over. Okay, so now that we've got all of our squares put together and just kind of, I'm just kind of scooching them over so that we can do one at a time now that we've got them all ready. Okay, now it does say, I'm going to read the note. It says, important, set aside 2 H squares to be used next week. You know what, I better put a label on them. I'll put my H back on there so that I do not forget, because I have a lot of things I'm working on right now, so I might forget. All right, let me move this over where my fabric is. Okay, on-point blocks are made from half square triangle blocks. We highly recommend using the Block Lock 6.5 inch ruler. You will love how easy it is to make half square triangle blocks using this ruler. We also recommend starching all blocks when finished. You can use Simple Niagara starch from a discount store or use Mary Ellen's Best Press. Okay, so we've got all of our blocks together. And now we are going to draw a line from corner to corner, and that's only one corner to one corner. And then we will stitch a 1/4 inch on either side of the drawn lines. So it's basically what we've been doing all along. I'm going to take this one because I'm just going to do it on the lighter colors. And here's my, oh, I'm not using that. Where is that? There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ruler down with that yellow line right in the middle. And then I am going to take my friction pen, or use whatever marking pen that you prefer, or marking device. Doesn't have to be a pen, it could be anything. And I'm going to make the mark on both sides. Okay, and then personally what I do, as you guys know, not only do I mark, but I also will just put a wonder clip, only because I just don't want it to move. And to me, it's, you know, better safe than sorry. I would rather know that it's in the exact space I want it to be. This is a step that if you don't want to do it, absolutely can skip it. And there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark all of these squares, and then I'm going to sew up each line, and I'll come back and we will go ahead and cut them in half. So I'll be right back with step number, well, another part of step number 2, I guess. I don't know, or step number 1. This is such an easy week. You guys are going to be really happy with this week. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and goodness, this took way longer than I thought it was. But very simple. It was very simple, just took a bit of time. So anyway, I do have all of these squares with 2 lines sewed down onto these lines that I drew. And now all we have to do is cut them all in half. So I am just going to put that down, and I'm going to take the 1/4 inch line, and I'm going to put it on one of the, or the closest, really, the closest one to me. And then I'm just going to cut down the middle. And I guess I'm going to need to change my rotary blade after this. Seems like it's getting just a tad bit dull. For now, I'll just push a little bit harder. These blocks are actually pretty easy. Even though they took a bit of time, it was quite easy just to mark them and sew them. And now with just cutting them right down the middle, it's pretty easy. And these are actually going to be pretty big blocks by the time we're done. I love how it's coming together. I love the little, I know I keep saying tulip. What is it supposed to be? Whatever those flowers are. I think they look really awesome. I like them. So, I'm in the middle of doing laundry at the same time as making these blocks and sewing with you guys. And Jelly Bean is totally ready for a nap. And he was crying and crying and crying and crying. And he caught up on my lap, and he's trying to cuddle in my lap. And I cuddled with him for a little bit. But you know, with all of this stuff, I always end up with just not enough time to do everything I want to do with the kitties too. Plus, because it's like, you know, I can't just go, okay, I'm ready now, because that's not when they're ready. And I also had somebody ask me about the Cotton Cuts mystery quilts, and I still need to catch up with that too. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish with these today. Basically, things just take time, that's all. So once I have these ready, I'm probably going to just get all of my Cotton Cut stuff done and just make one video. What I have going right now is I have the one mystery quilt from the fall that's called This Way and That Way. And then, for some reason, mainly because I'm a crazy person, I signed up for 3 different colorways in the new one called Stratford. And so, yeah. I have, and I'm behind on all of it. Like, right now, I still need to do the very last This Way and That Way that I received, and I haven't done a single thing on the 3 colorways for Stratford. So I have to do all of that, which is why I'm not going to probably do them on camera, because I just need to be able to whip it out. And yeah. I'm also supposed to be opening some boxes. I have received the Jenny's Favorite Things from Missouri Star Quilt Company. I need to open that. I have received it's either my Modern Maker or my Classic Box from Cotton Cuts. So I've got lots of cotton cutting to do. And now that I have these all separated and cut in half, I think that they have us... Okay, so we are going to be pressing all of the seams toward the smaller batch of fabrics. So just remember that when you go over to do your pressing, you'll want to lay your piece down with whichever way you are pressing your fabric. Like if you're pressing toward these butterflies, which is what they're telling us to do, you want to put the butterflies on top, facing you, or not facing you, but on top, and then you want to press this seam. And remember that when we are pressing that seam, it's just to close up all those holes, because anytime you are sewing any sort of stitch, you're making little holes in your fabric, and when you put the heat on it, it just closes it up. And we want to get it closed up nice and tight before we flip it over and do any pressing. Okay, so we'll do that, and then I'll just take this and flip it over. I just sort of coax it in wherever I want it to go. You don't really stretch it. You just want to coax it over, and then you'll press it down. So then once we're done with that, we have to put them together in one on-point block, and actually we're going to make 8 of them. So as soon as I get all the pressing done, I'll be back and we'll arrange everything the way it's supposed to be. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have pressed all the pieces. It is now 2 hours later. I'm kidding. It feels like it though. And so now what we have to do is trim all of these squares to 5.5 inch square. Okay, so I'm just going to put these over to the side, and let's take one square, and I have my block lock. I am going to make sure I have it in the correct position, which is my fabric is pressed toward the flowers, so I'm going to put that to the top right and the other piece to the bottom left, and block lock logo goes to the bottom. So block bottom, I will stick that on there, and then I just want to make sure that I have something to cut off on both sides, and at the same time I still have fabric to the outside of the 5.5 inches and to the outside of that 5.5 inches, which I do. So, oh, I totally forgot. I'm gonna have to turn this, so let me scooch those over for a bit. All right. And to do that, I'm gonna scooch those a little higher. They're getting squooshed. Okay. And there we go with that side. I'm just going to flip it over. And again, block lock toward the part where there is, where it's not, you guys already know. My goodness. I feel so crazy. Okay, and I still want to have it this way, right? Wait, I've trimmed that. I need to trim this. Okay. Here we go. So now I want to be 5.5 there, and I'm at 5.5 here. So now I'm ready to just trim the excess. Okay. And that's how we do that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm obviously not going to trim all of these on camera. So I'm going to do the rest of the squares trimmed down to 5.5 inches. And once I'm done with that, I'll come back and we'll get to the next step. Okay, so I have trimmed all of the squares to 5.5 inch square. And according to the diagram that we have for week 3, we are supposed to put them all in this order here, and we're going to make 8 blocks out of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I will flip them all right sides together, and then I will make a mark at 1/4 inch. I will sew all of those, and then I'll come back and then sew them top to bottom. So I will do that next, and I will be right back, and we will, I think what I'll do is I'll come back after I have sewed these together. I'll just put them all right sides together and do them and sew them that way, and then when I'm ready to sew the top to the bottom, I'll come back and we'll just go to that next step. Okay, so due to circumstances beyond my control, I could not finish this yesterday, so here I am back at the last step, and it's Easter Sunday, so happy Easter. So all we have left to do is sew the top and the bottom together like that. So I'm just going to mark all of my seams here with 1/4 inch. I'm going to sew them together, press them, and I'll be back to show you the final block. And that's probably all I'm going to do today. I wanted to get caught up on a whole lot of cotton cuts. I might be able to, but I'm not 100% sure. But it is Easter, so I think I'm going to just kind of do what I can, but I can't promise anything. So anyway, I'll do this part. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we have finally, well, I should say I have finally finished these blocks, and I have 8 blocks that all look like this. And here are my tulip blocks, or whatever, peony blocks, whatever you want to call them. And so I have all of these ready, and I am ready for week 4, because this is week 3, which I just finished. Thank goodness, I'm caught up. And yeah, so like I said before, it's Easter, and I'm gonna go downstairs right now and start making dinner. Or I don't even know what it is. I think we're gonna have like dinner and then dinner snack or whatever. I have no idea. But anyways, just wanted to say happy Easter to everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.